So are you interested in buying a new construction home or maybe confused about the process? Have you ever seen a new home builder contract and been maybe overwhelmed or maybe confused? Well, builder contracts are some of the most difficult, confusing, and, well, problematic aspects of buying a new home. And today we're going to talk about some crucial aspects of buying a new home from Toll Brothers, one of America's most famous luxury home builders and a developer of many great communities here in Southern California, around Los Angeles and Orange County. And by taking a deep dive into certain gotchas in their purchase agreement. Well, in this video, I am going to be picking on Toll Brothers for some of these examples, but make no mistake, every home builder here in Southern California has their own list of surprises buried in their purchase agreements. And this is why having professional representation is so essential. So let's get started. And as Southern California's new construction home expert, I am going to make sure that you have all the information that you need to make an informed decision. Now, up first, we're going to talk about the liquidation clause. Now, Toll Brothers is known for their luxurious homes, but their contracts come with some significant terms you need to be aware of. And one such clause is the liquidation clause. When you sign their contract, you are agreeing to potentially liquidate your other assets if you don't qualify for the loan. And this means, for example, if you own a rental property and your loan application is approved for less than you need, you may be forced to sell that rental property to make up the difference or risk losing your deposit. Now, losing passive income can be a big deal, especially if you rely on that income for your lifestyle or retirement plans. So let's have a look. The contract states, buyer shall commit to use the proceeds from the sale or other liquidation of some or all of buyer's assets if and to the extent necessary to reduce the loan amount for buyer to obtain loan approval. Now, this is reiterated later in the same paragraph. Buyer agrees to be responsible for and bear the risk of meeting all terms and conditions of the commitment, if any, including the sale of other real estate presently owned by the buyer. Notice it doesn't specify the home you're selling in order to move. It just says other real estate. So let's say you apply for an $800,000 loan and you're only approved for $600,000. Now, that rental property you paid off years ago, by signing this contract, you agreed to sell it to close the deal. No more passive income from that property. Now, to avoid this, be meticulous when filling out your loan application. Specify which assets you're not willing to sell from the very beginning. This is a critical step and not one to be taken lightly. Think about all of your assets and decide what is non-negotiable for you. This could include other real estate, investments, or any other valuable property. The goal is to protect your financial stability and future income streams. Additionally, it's important to have a thorough understanding of your financial situation before you even start the loan application process. Consult with a financial advisor or mortgage specialist to get a clear picture of your finances and what you can realistically afford. This way, you can avoid the stress and potential financial strain of being forced to liquidate assets. So up next, we have the 30-day signing period. So what does this mean? Toll Brothers has up to 30 days to sign the contract after you've signed it. So during this period, you cannot revoke your offer. This means if you change your mind or find a better deal somewhere else, you are stuck waiting for up to 30 days. And this can be particularly frustrating if the market is moving fast and you want to stay flexible. So the contract states, this agreement will not be binding upon seller unless executed by an officer of the seller within 30 days of buyer's execution of this agreement. Well, but you, as the buyer, have no such luxury. Your offer is irrevocable for those 30 days, meaning you can't back out even if circumstances change or you find another home that you prefer. So in these 30 days, a lot can happen. Market conditions might change, new properties might come onto the market, or your personal circumstances might shift. But being locked into an offer without the ability to withdraw can be stressful. So therefore, it's essential to be absolutely sure about your decision before signing the contract. Discuss any potential concerns or what-if scenarios with me to ensure you're making the best choice for your situation. Now, next, we talk about deposit handling. So we're going to talk about your deposit. Now, when you make an offer, you'll likely have to put down a significant deposit. Toll Brothers can deposit your money into their accounts, but this doesn't mean they've approved the contract. You might be waiting 30 days without certainty while your funds are tied up. This could impact your ability to make other offers or manage your finances effectively. So you always want to be prepared for the possibility and ensure that you have enough liquidity to cover your expenses during this waiting period. So the contract states, seller may deposit into any one or more of its banking accounts any such sums paid on account of the purchase price and extras during said 30-day period. Any such deposit of funds shall not constitute seller's approval of this agreement. So essentially, Toll Brothers can take your deposit and put it in their accounts, but it doesn't mean they've agreed to the contract. You are left in limbo, waiting to see if they'll sign while your funds are tied up. So the handling of your deposit is crucial because it ties up a substantial amount of money. And during the 30-day period, this money is essentially, in limbo. You can't use it for other opportunities, and you have no guarantee that the contract will be approved by the builder. So this situation can be particularly challenging if you're juggling multiple offers or trying to keep your options open. Make sure to have a financial cushion to cover any unexpected expenses that might arise during this time. Now next, home positioning and design changes. So for those who are particular about the layout of their home, be aware that Toll Brothers reserves the right to change the positioning of the home, including which side the garage is on, the exterior design, or what we call the elevation, which is the styling and color of the home, or even some of the interior features. So this is something you agree to when you sign the contract. If you have specific preferences about how your home is oriented or which side the garage is on or preferred exterior color, make sure to communicate these clearly and understand that there might be changes. This flexibility allows Toll Brothers to adapt to site conditions and other factors, but it can be a surprise if you're not prepared for it. So the contract states, seller reserves the right to reverse the plan of the home at seller's sole discretion. So this means they can change the layout, including the side the garage is on, without needing your approval. If the positioning of the garage or other aspects of the home layout are crucial to you, this clause, can be concerning. The positioning of your home can significantly impact its functionality and aesthetic appeal. So whether it's the direction the home faces, the location of the garage, or the layout of the yard, these elements can affect your daily living experience. Hey, do you practice feng shui? A change in orientation could have a significant impact to the home's feng shui and your comfort living there. So before signing the contract, we need to discuss these details with the builder and ensure you have a clear understanding of what to expect. If certain aspects are non-negotiable for you, make sure they are documented in the contract to avoid any misunderstandings later on. Now, next we're going on to incomplete work at closing. So it is important to know that some external work like grading and driveways may not be completed before closing. So the contract reads, certain items of outside work, grading, seating, driveway, may not be completed prior to closing. Seller agrees to complete such items after closing as soon as practical. Buyer agrees that there will be no holdback or escrow of any part of the purchase price. So moving into a new home should be an exciting experience, but dealing with incomplete work can, dampen that excitement. So unfinished driveways, landscaping, and other external features can be inconvenient and potentially costly. So it's essential to have a clear understanding of what will be completed by the time you move in and what might be left unfinished. So keep a detailed record of any agreements and follow up regularly to ensure that all promised work is completed in a timely manner. Next, we move on to the construction timeline. And this construction timeline is another crucial point. Toll Brothers has up to 2 years from the date you sign the agreement to complete the construction of your home. Now, this might be standard as it is for most builders, but it's something to be aware of, especially if you have a strict timeline. If you're planning to move in by a certain date or have other commitments, this timeline could be a significant factor. So, discuss any concerns you have with myself and together with the builder, and make sure you have a clear understanding of the expected completion date. Now, keep in mind that delays can happen due to weather, supply chain issues, or other unforeseen circumstances. So, the contract states, seller agrees to complete the construction of the property within a period of 2 years from the date this agreement is signed by the buyer. Building a home is a complex process with a lot of variables, so delays can and do happen, and it's important to be prepared for this possibility. Discuss the construction timeline in detail with the builder and ask for regular updates on the progress. I, personally, will be going out to view the construction site periodically to check on progress, and if I do see issues coming up, I will bring them to your and the builder's attention so we can work through them. Now, we move on to oral agreements. So be mindful that any oral agreements or promises made by the sales consultant are not binding unless they're included in the written contract. Now, this is a standard practice for all builders, but coupled with the 30-day signing period, it means you need to ensure everything is documented in writing. So this includes any special requests, upgrades, or changes to the standard contract terms. If it's not in writing, it doesn't count. Make sure to review the contract thoroughly and ask for any necessary changes to be included before you sign, and bring up any questions that you have about what you see in the contract. So the contract states, buyer acknowledges that buyer is not relying on any oral statements or promises that are not included in this agreement. So oral agreements can be easily misunderstood or forgotten, so it's crucial to get everything in writing. This includes any promises made about upgrades, timelines, or special conditions. So before signing the contract, review it carefully and ensure that all of your agreements are documented. If there are any discrepancies or missing details, we need to address them right away. And next up, we have design selections. Well, when it comes to design selections, you may need to make these within 14 days of signing the contract. And if you don't, Toll Brothers may make these selections for you. So if you're busy or traveling, ensure you prioritize this to get what you want. This is your chance to personalize your home and choose the finishes and features that suit your taste. You want to take the time to visit showrooms, review samples, and make informed decisions. And I'm going to be there with you. So you don't go to the design center by yourself. I'll be there to work through the design options and the design budget with you. Because this process can be exciting, but it can really be overwhelming. So don't hesitate to ask for my help or advice from friends, family, or even your own design professional. Now, the contract states, buyer shall make all selections within 14 days of buyer's execution of this agreement. If such selections are not made within the required time periods, seller will have the right to select and install standard colors and materials for the buyer, and believe me, you probably don't want those. Now, design selections are a critical part of the home building process, and this is your opportunity to customize your home and make it truly yours. So from flooring and cabinetry to fixtures and paint colors, these choices will define the look and feel of your new home. Now, next we're going to talk about viewing the home. So while your home is under construction, there are strict rules about visiting the construction site. Hard hats are mandatory, and children under 16 may not be allowed on site. And this is really for safety reasons, but it can be inconvenient for families wanting to check on progress. So plan your visits accordingly and make sure you adhere to the safety guidelines. Regular site visits can help you stay informed about the progress and catch any potential issues early. We want to take photos and notes during each of the visits to keep a record of the construction process. So I'm there myself periodically to check on the construction progress, and I may go in and have a look, make sure everything is going according to plan, and I will let you know if there are any concerns where we need to make a special appointment and come out and have a look. So now we're going to move on to, what sometimes is like the least fun part of moving into a new home, the CCNRs and HOA rules. Now, the contract also binds you to the CCNRs, which are known as the covenants, conditions, and restrictions of your new community. Well, even if you haven't seen them yet, these are the rules for the neighborhood, such as whether you can have a shed or an above-ground pool. Make sure you obtain and read these documents before signing, because these rules can have a significant impact on your lifestyle and property value. So it's essential to understand them fully. If there are any restrictions that you can't live with, it's better to know up front rather than after you've moved in. So the contract states, buyer hereby acknowledges having read and accepts the governing documents and agrees to be bound by them. So CCNRs and HOA rules can vary widely from one community to another, and they can dictate everything from the color of your house to even the types of plants you can have in your own yard. So before signing the contract, obtain a copy of these rules and review them carefully. So consider how they align with your lifestyle and whether there are any restrictions that might be problematic. So understanding these rules up front can help you avoid conflicts and ensure that you're comfortable with the community's guidelines. Now, lastly, we're going to talk about property taxes. So at closing, the property might still be assessed at land value, meaning you could be responsible for paying the increased taxes once the home is fully assessed. And this can be a significant cost, so we need to plan accordingly. Property taxes can vary widely depending on the location and value of your home and whether or not there's a mellow roost involved. So make sure to budget for this expense and consult with your tax professional as well as the lender if you have any questions. Understanding your property tax obligations can help you avoid any unpleasant surprises after closing. And the contract states, real estate taxes, community association assessments, and other charges that are customarily apportioned shall be apportioned to the date of closing. Now, property taxes are an ongoing expense that can impact your overall budget. So the assessment process can be complex, and it's important to understand how it works. So consult with a tax professional to get a clear picture of what to expect and how to budget for property taxes, or we can talk about property taxes one-on-one. But be aware that the initial tax assessment might be lower, but it will increase once the home is fully assessed. Planning for this expense can help you manage your finances and avoid any surprises. So, Toll Brothers has a reputation for building luxury homes, and they have many satisfied customers, and they build an amazing product. They are basically the Neiman Marcus to Lennar being like Walmart. So, however, it's essential to understand every aspect of the contract to avoid any surprises. If you're looking for a brand new home in Southern California, particularly in areas like Los Angeles, Orange County, the Inland Empire, I am the area expert on new construction with a proven track record of successful negotiations with home builders and guiding clients through the entire process, from selecting a lot to the negotiation, to the design center, to inspections, and finally closing. So if you would like to leverage my expertise to help with your new home purchase, remember, when buying a new home, my services are at absolutely no cost to you, so you have absolutely nothing to lose by choosing to be properly and professionally represented when buying a new construction home. If you have any questions about buying a new home in the Los Angeles metro area, Orange County, or the Inland Empire, or you just want my help to make the process as smooth and stress-free as possible, my contact information is up on the screen. Please reach out by phone, text, or email, and I am here to help. Also, please feel free to comment below with any questions or even examples of contract surprises you've run into when buying a home. And if you found this video helpful, please remember to like and subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss any of my future videos. Thank you for watching, and we will see you on the next video.